I got to try a really insane, crazy restaurant in Universal Orlando, Florida, and we need to talk about it because I was honestly so overwhelmed. There was so much going on at this place, and I honestly don't even know where to start. And that restaurant is the Toothsome Chocolate Emporium, the Savory Feast Kitchen. And man, let me tell you, that's a mouthful, and that's not even scratching the surface. This place here, there is so much to do and to eat that, like I said, I don't even know where to start. But I guess let's start at the beginning. We were in Orlando, Florida for Card Party, and we decided we wanted to go into Universal Studios Orlando for Voodoo Donuts. But while we were there, we figured we'd stop for dinner. And this was actually the first of 2 stops in Universal, and the second stop, which is Rainforest Cafe, will be a story for another day. But as you walk through kind of from the parking area to the actual park, and this is the side of the park that you don't have to pay to get into, it's kind of like the nightlife kind of section of Universal. You can see this place from across the water, and it gets more and more impressive as you get to it, because there's these giant stacks of like pipes, kind of like if it was a production facility where like all the exhaust would be going out, and it's got kind of like a steampunk vibe, and that kind of carries all the way through the restaurant. And I mean, if it wasn't evident from the outside, as you enter the revolving door into the place, it is definitely obvious. Not only is the decor all like gears and things like that, like, you know, machines and stuff like that, there's also like steampunk kind of like people dressed up as robots. It's kind of freaky, honestly. But as you're walking through this place, it's like snack heaven. They have everything, macarons, like amazing little chocolate creations that you can tell are all kind of handmade. They have kind of packaged snacks and treats, all sweet stuff, and also other treats that you can get in bulk, like you can do a bag and you can do scoops of different things. There's a whole ice cream counter and you can get like scoops of ice cream, or you can get sundaes, and they'll throw anything on that type of stuff. All different types of fudge. It's honestly silly how many things they have. And that's in the area just as you're waiting for a table before you even get to look at the silly, crazy, insane menu. Because one of the things that they do as you're waiting for your table is they actually show you all the different shakes you get to try. And that's another one of those things. This is the type of place where it became trendy over the last like decade and a half, where they'll make a milkshake and then they'll put pieces of cake and chocolate and candy all around it. It's a diabetic's nightmare. But you know, we had to try something. The main mission though was food, and looking at this menu, it's kind of one of those types of places where coming up with a game plan is going to be extremely difficult. We decided on this visit to skip the appetizers. We figured those would probably be the least memorable things of the meal. Focus on getting an entree and then splitting a couple of desserts. When you get to entree, that's where it gets even more complicated. They have flatbreads, salads, brunch, sandwiches, entrees. So I think most of us just resolved, even though it was like late in the day, let's do brunch. But milkshakes had to happen, and we'll talk about that at the end of the meal. So as far as brunch, you get to choose, and it's another one of those things. There's just so many things you can choose from here. There's crepes creations, quiche creations, French toast creations, and waffles creations. So I said, screw it, let's go with French toast, and they had a patty melt. Definitely not your normal patty melt. Challah bread, a half-pound house-made fresh hamburger patty, sunny side-up egg, grilled pork belly, cheddar cheese, and lyonnaise potatoes. In terms of the visual, absolutely impressive. There was no way I was finishing this entire meal. And because we were staying at a hotel, it's kind of unfortunate because like, it's not like I could take that back and reheat it later. I mean, I guess I could have, but like, come on. I don't know what was the more over-the-top part of this, whether it was the fact that it was a Monte Cristo with French toast, the pork belly, which was a nice thick slice of pork belly, and there was definitely some sweetness to it, so it was probably like candied with brown sugar, or the egg that actually was like rested over the top of it. It was truly impressive, and honestly, everything else that came to the table was equally impressive. Noah ended up getting waffles with bananas Foster, and it was the first time he had bananas Foster, and he absolutely loved it. And Cassie got a croque monsieur, which is like a grilled cheese with a fried egg on top and some bechamel sauce, and that looked really good. And the fries she got looked really good too. But I can't downplay my meal. Those lyonnaise potatoes were really, really good. Almost like a gratin. Kind of nice, thin pieces of potato, and they're definitely baked and definitely like really, really buttery. Definitely the type of thing like super heavy. There's nothing light about this meal, and it's kind of unfortunate because it's just like heavy on heavy on heavy, and then as you leave, you end up out in the sunny Orlando, Florida, you know, 75, 80 degree weather. Definitely one of those things where you have to be in tip-top shape. I'm talking about like your conditioning in order to eat meals like that. But the French toast was amazing. The fact that the burger was on there was amazing. It was cooked perfectly, like a nice little medium. Place like this, I don't like to go too medium rare because if they're used to cooking it a certain way, that they do it the same way, you know what I mean? But yeah, the pork belly on top, absolutely incredible. I can't say enough good things about this dish. Because after all, it is the Chocolate Emporium and dessert is obviously a priority. So let's talk about the things that we did try. Now, we were gonna do one item per person, but honestly, the meal was so heavy as it is, and we had donuts kind of in store for the next morning. So we went light, and that is sarcasm, yes. And we ordered one milkshake to split and a dessert to split. We actually let Noah pick the milkshake, and what he picked was the strawberry shortcake, which is a sour cream ice cream, cheesecake, graham crackers, whipped topping, and chocolate dipped strawberry. And this was Noah's birthday, so obviously we let them know and they came out with some candles for him to blow out. And you can see how impressive these desserts are already. The milkshake is silly. I mean, not only is it rimmed with all that whipped cream and also some graham cracker, they actually jam an entire piece of cheesecake into it and the chocolate covered strawberry. So absolutely ridiculous. But the sour cream ice cream was really interesting. It honestly gave you that cheesecake vibe as you were drinking through it. So much so that when you eat the cheesecake, it almost tastes exactly the same as the milkshake, which isn't a terrible thing, but honestly, if I had to drink this entire thing, I'd have a little trouble with that just because of the fact that it was so heavy and all kind of similar tastes. But I guess that's what you have the chocolate covered strawberry to kind of break things up for. But never fear, we also had a dessert sitting there. And that dessert is a sundae called May Contain Nuts. Peanut butter ice cream, peanut brittle, Reese's peanut butter cups, chocolate peanut butter pie, whipped topping, peanut butter sauce, topped with Reese's Pieces. So much stuff going on here. Not even worth really commenting on the things that you know what they're gonna taste like the Reese's cup or the Reese's Pieces, or even the peanut brittle, honestly. Let's talk about that pie. It's your standard peanut butter pie where you get the Oreo crust and that cream cheesy kind of peanut butter filling, but it's enrobed in chocolate. And if you think about everything going on in this dish, and the fact that this is just $15, it's honestly a steal. You're eating in a theme park and you have all these elements on the plate, all this heavy stuff. It's the worst possible junk for you. I'm gonna put it right out there. This is the type of thing where if you're on vacation, you gotta splurge a little bit. And this was the perfect thing to top off the meal. They present the check in a nice little booklet that actually says sincerest thanks from Lady Toothsome. Kind of a nice little touch on the whole thing. It's definitely one of those places where if you get overwhelmed by a dining experience that is just so much stimulation, that's definitely what this is. So if it's not your thing, you're gonna wanna steer away from it. But in the park, I don't know that you can get around that. But we enjoyed the meal a lot. And I don't wanna just completely gush about it because the food itself was kind of on the higher end of run-of-the-mill, appropriately priced, and also just so much variety and such kind of a chill experience that you really can't complain about something like this. If you like this video, make sure you hit like on it. And if you wanna see more food breakdowns like this, consider subscribing. We did have to move on to the next part of our mission to pick up Voodoo Donuts for the next morning. That's the one thing that Noah loves to have on his birthday. And if that video is ready, I'll put it up on the screen for you right now to click into. Otherwise, on the screen is another video YouTube thinks you're gonna love. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day.